they are trying to get like they got the West Coast Fighters. They got the All-American with Weidman. They are trying to cater to certain areas. I'm waiting for that Asian market to come up. That's going to come back again soon too. But Till was their guy. Till was there. We lost Michael Bisping. He's in the Hall of Fame now. We need our guy. We need another Brit. And that's the guy, Darren Till. That's who they wanted.
Dude, this is just another freaking wrinkle of how big of impact Conor McGregor is. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Brian Ortega had a freaking blunt company coming out and like, oh, this is my company. Like, everybody's going to copy what Conor did. But he became a freaking double champ first.
Yeah.
We're rushing. Dude, you said this last week. You're like, you want to talk about being a three-weight champion? Dude, how about you make weight first, Darren Till? Like, let's pump the brakes. The UFC, man, they're giving Conor more power here. And I know he's running away with it. He was killing Joe Rogan for miscalling fights. He's calling for
what do you have to say? What do you mean miscall?
I believe in reference to the Nate Diaz fight, he was saying like when he dropped Nate, it was a different reaction, and when Nate was flurrying Conor, it was more of like, oh, this is gonna end. Conor's picking fights with the wrong people now. He needs to get in the gym. He's on a bar talking about fights.
Yeah, I did see that.
Come on.
It's funny because they do. A lot of fighters do criticize Rogan for being one-sided.
His job is to be entertaining.
Yeah,
that's it.
And I think
I hope the judges don't have him in their ear. Like that would be a shitty part.
No. And let's be serious. I think if anything, the Rogan reaction is more honest and like shock and awe. Like if you're telling me
He's
that
a fan.
When Conor's knocking down Diaz and the reaction is not like, oh my God, I can't believe, but Diaz knocking down McGregor or landing a shot on McGregor, it's like holy, because he's a fan of you, Conor. He's not expecting you to get knocked out or to go on the ground or whatever the case is. He's expecting you to win.
Or how about he's just going off storylines? He just saw you get demolished in the fight before, and if Nate survives your onslaught, and then Nate has a barrage, and then all of a sudden he thinks that this might be the end of the Conor McGregor legacy. So Conor, shut your mouth. Didn't you start your documentary reverse? Like a Quentin Tarantino movie. They started Conor against the fence, about to lose 2 in a row to Nate Diaz.
Right.
That would have been it of Mystic Mac. Conor, shut your mouth, bro. Fight your sparring partners, not freaking bald analysts.
He wants, dude. Do you hear that he wants Khabib again? And he said that he's disputing the fight. He wasn't. What was the word he used? He said he wasn't motivated.
That pissed me off. What the hell? What motivation are you looking for?
Well, clearly he's got other things going on.
Don't take the fight then.
Well. We saw
he's delusional. You mentioned TJ being delusional about some rematches.
Well, this is
Conor McGregor's the ultimate delusionist.
This is also the fact that people around him are very much in his ear saying, "Hey, you're the best. Don't worry about it. We got this." We did the whole phone incident. We saw that already. But this is a case of the guy made a ton of money super quick. Had that Floyd fight, which came out of nowhere, like, wait, this is happening. Was on the top of the world, made $100 million. Okay, and then all of a sudden, not the world came crashing down, but started getting in trouble with the law a little bit too much. Needed to get back in the cage. Need to actually take on a fight.
Need to win a fight too.
We needed to win a fight, but needed to make the best fight available for him to cash in, and that was the Khabib fight. But he didn't do the work to take on a Khabib. He did not. He wasn't even close. You could say as much as you want to train, but you want to know something, and I will buy into this much. When Conor lost to Diaz, he just thought he was going to knock him out. We all saw the writing on the wall that when Nate got up in that second round again, and Conor's like, dude, what the hell does it take to put this guy down? And all Nate had to do was land one punch, and Conor knew quickly that he was in a different world than he's ever been in before. He faced Khabib. He tasted what Khabib can do in that cage. Now that he knows, he's going to attack it a different way. His approach is going to be different. If the guy is who he says he is and what we've seen in the past, Conor will attack this training camp. If they do a rematch, he will attack this training camp the way that he has in other training camps and will put himself in a better position to actually look better and more successful versus Khabib. Now, whether or not he's going to win is a different story, but it'll be more competitive than it was the first time around.
Are you saying you're ready for the rematch for Khabib in Conor's next fight?
Do I think it's smart? No, I think When it comes down to Conor, it's in the moment. So, yeah.
Pete Hoffman, do you want it next?
No, I don't want it. I don't really want it at all. I don't think it's deserving. But if I'm in Conor's head, yes. That's where...
Of course.
Because
he's delusional.
He's delusional, but he's also motivated. Is
he, though?
But
Dude, he's telling us that he's on top of a bar. He's still selling his whiskey. He's at the Super Bowls. He's smashing phones in Miami. Dude, he could have went to Iceland and hung out and been quiet.
Dude,
he's in Miami.
No, I get it. He's in Miami. I understand that. But... the fighter mentality, when I trust Conor the fighter, not the Conor the partier. I don't trust Conor the partier.
What does Rogan always say, man? There's like a quote he quotes, I think it's a Vander Holyfield. It's like, it's hard to get up and run when you're sleeping in silk sheets.
That's true.
It's true. We allowed Conor to move up to face RDA. That didn't happen. He fought Nate. We allowed the rematch. We gave it to him. We allowed him to do the Eddie Alvarez, the Floyd fight, to come back into the UFC, leapfrog Tony on the same freaking card that Tony Ferguson fought and fight Khabib. We allowed that. Dude, he owes us something. Can you show us something? You were a hard negotiator with Donald Cerrone. You don't want to fight Dustin Poirier. You don't want to fight Max Holloway. Step in for interim. Maybe he's waiting to see what happens if Max beats Dustin. Maybe they do Max Conor 2 over the summer. I believe that's a real possibility. But you owe it to the fans, man, to show us. Get on that mic after you beat your next opponent, knock them out, and say, Khabib, I'm coming for you in November in MSG. You got to pump it up a little, man.
Well, but here's the thing, though, is that
he owes me that.
Conor doesn't take tin cans, as we like to call in the business, right?
At this point, he can't.
He can't.
Every fight's a tough fight,
right? But that's the point, though, is he's not going to anyway. He doesn't want to, because he could easily take, say,
show me the confidence then. If you feel you're going to beat Khabib, then beat the first opponent. Let's see how bad you want it. Can't come back, beat Khabib, and then go box again.
Well,
there is a chance that he could beat Khabib, obviously.
There is a chance he beat Khabib, but he can't go box again. No, the boxing's done. You want to be the best in the business, best in the UFC, you have to. And again, I don't know what his motivation is. I don't know, but I do know that if he signs that deal with Khabib, he's going to take it as serious as possible, and he's going to go in there with a different mind frame because he knows what he's up against now. He knows what he's up against now.
It's fair. I mean, of course, he always comes back in these rematches better. We've seen that, but I think he owes us, man. He owes us to show us that he's really motivated. That was a real bad one-sided beatdown. He landed barely any punches.
So what are you going to do? You're going to put him up against, well, not Cerrone now because Cerrone's versus Ally Kinta.
Cerrone wants to fight, man. He is a fighter among men. He is the fighter's fighter, man. He couldn't wait till July for a Conor for a co-main event. That would have made his career.
The guy stayed in the 170, the welterweight division, which is arguably one of the best divisions in the UFC. He stayed in there because they kept on offering him fights. He wanted to go down to 155, but he kept on getting offered fights. Mike Perry, sure. Darren Till, sure. I don't care. Just let's get fights going. Sure, I'll take it. Doesn't make a difference to me. Jorge Masvidal, sure, whatever. The guy wants to win that lightweight division. He wants to win a belt. That's his best opportunity. There's chaos. He's got to go through a lot of people. Ally Kinta is no joke.
Not a big name,
no,
but willing to fight.
He is Khabib with maybe a little more, I don't want to say power standing up, but a little bit more accuracy standing up, that's for sure.
For sure. No, that's definitely a tough fight for Cerrone, man. And I Kinta's going to come in there motivated.
Yeah.
It sucks that Cerrone didn't get the money fight that would have really set him off for his career, man. He deserves it. Being a UFC all-times win leader,
I know.
He deserves everything. Bud Light, Proper 12, we joked about it, but
there should be some sort of clause, by the way, for Cerrone. Hey, you've fought X amount of times. Every paycheck from here now on out, every fight's going to get you at least 7 figures.
I agree with that, man. You should be his agent. The UFC is like, dude, stay stupid and keep signing for these fights, honestly. But I really think we're going to see Conor's next opponent. You know he's going to tweet something after UFC 236. But, dude, show me something. I don't think he's going to fight Dustin. That's not big enough of a rematch. I think if you showed Max coming up with a belt, having another belt, the interim title, and Conor jumping against Max, winner fights Khabib, I think that makes a ton of sense.
There's a lot of logical things. I do see that Conor Max as a logical fight for sure, leading up to Khabib. And I don't want to take anything away from Poirier. Poirier deserves it, dude. Poirier deserves it. It's again, you have to see what happens with this fight too. We have to see Max in the 155s. We've seen Poirier; he's looked really dominant. I mean, you talk about the people that he's beat: Eddie Alvarez. He beat Anthony Showtime Pettis, who's fighting up at 170 this weekend.
Gaethje, man.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Gaethje's no joke. Anybody that even thinks about that as like he's a brawler. Eventually, people, once you lose your chin, you always lose your chin. Dude, it doesn't. If he lands a shot, you're going down.
Yeah, good luck
and
getting in there.
Poirier took some punches, man. So he's brutal. He could take a few hits here and there. The wild card too is what's going on with Tony Ferguson. There's all this and Michael Chiesa is so smart for going up a weight class and saying fuck the fucking lightweight division. I'm going to 170. I'm going to welterweight. Yeah. I don't know what the hell you guys are doing down there. You're all crazy. You're all getting arrested. I don't know. Seriously,
and I want to eat donuts.
Yeah, and I just want to try to get a belt. That's what he wants to do. So he thinks that's the best way. I don't think that's smart. There's just as many heavy hitters in the 170 division, but there's no movement in the lightweight division right now.
It's thick, man. Like all this prognostication that we're trying to figure out: Conor, Khabib, and Nate, and Tony, and Dustin, and Max. That's why throwing Max into the mix just throws another freaking wrench into the gears, man. I have this thing: if Max wins, Conor could step in, but if Dustin wins, they should give it to Tony in the spring. In the summer. There's a lot of junk going on. I think Conor is waiting to choose his next opponent. Khabib's not going to fight to the fall. In your opinion, do you believe Conor's going to fight before the fall?
No, I thought they would fight in November.
So then you're saying the rematch in New York is essentially
That's what I thought. I knew that July was a possibility because when their suspension is up, but I think that November is more likely for him. It's a year off, type of thing.
But going by facts, according to what we heard, the Cerrone Conor fight was going to happen. It was just maybe Conor wanted more money or a main event.
He wanted half the company. He wanted half the company.
But that means he wants, just go by the facts, he wants to come back at that time.
July?
Yeah.
Sure. But Khabib's not going to be available. I mean, Khabib is going to be freshly sourced.
Max Holloway, please get the win next month, man. Max Conor too.
Dustin is going to blow that up in your face. That's the problem. Dustin's going to pop that.
Even though it's a rematch, is Conor going to want Dustin?
Yeah.
You think so?
Well, is that for the interim belt?
Yes.
Okay, so then yes.
Wait.
I don't even know. I don't even know. No one could listen. That lightweight division is so screwed up. Even if you gave it an interim belt, it's almost like a title eliminator. You know what I mean? Or an interim eliminator. I don't know who's got what. Cerrone Iaquinta is just as much interim belt than Holloway and Poirier.
For real, man. There's 1A, 1B, 1C contenders.
Yeah,
and what
crazy.
happens, dude? If Nate comes back, man, you hinted at Nate Tony, which I love. I love that stylistically. Woof. Dude, Nate tweets 185.
155 is so freaking.
Conor tweets, I'll make any fucking weight. All of a sudden, there's some controversy going back. I think that is the biggest fight that Conor can fight. The trilogy in July. Winner fights Khabib in the fall. That is the fight.
See, here's the thing: is you're sitting there going, "Oh, you're going to wait for Conor to go and tweet at somebody after the Holloway." Poirier fight. He tweets at everybody anyway. I don't know. I've lost track of his tweets. He's doing the
Jameson.
Yeah, he does. He's doing the Amanda Nunes thing. Amanda Nunes, after her victory, she started tweeting at everybody. John Jones, DC. I'm fighting this person. She was just making up everybody. I don't believe Conor until it's officially signed.
Woof. Well, I mean,
I don't know who's going after.
If we're going,
he takes Silva. He takes Anderson Silva. Come on, that's not realistic.
I hope this is the year in 3 years that we get the Conor McGregor to fight 2 times in a year, man. I think he deserves that.
When's the last time? It's been a while.
16. Yeah, it's freaking crazy, man.
You think about a lot of these champions, and it's crazy because they start fighting like once a year once they become title champions, and it's not because they're quote unquote inactive purposefully. It's because other things pop up. Injury, suspension, deciding to go into boxing for a year. There's always something else that takes place. Is it the money's not right in the UFC? Is the contender not the one that they want? Like, I mean, are they like the person that was the best at this was Michael Bisping. When he had the middleweight belt, he chose who were the people that he fought up against? Who did he go up against?
Dude, he picked and chose a number 12 or 10th ranked
very
Dan Henderson.
Very smart about who he put the belt up against. And you know what? When he gave up the belt, who was it against? GSP. Money.
He made a shit ton of money.
And maybe that's the approach of the people with belts. Maybe it's DC's doing the same thing too. He's sitting there, he's like, I'll fight Derek Lewis real quick, but I'm not gonna go up against John Jones in November. I'm not gonna do that to myself. I'm not gonna go up against some other crazy mother effort like Francis Ngannou. Like I'm not doing that. I'm playing Stipe, dude. You're a killer. I don't want to fight you again unless I'm healthy and I've made my money. And Brock Lesnar is the money fight for DC.
That's why we always say he deserves it because he earned it. He walked the tightrope long enough and he didn't fail. Give him the money fight.
And he's also on his way out too, so we know there's not much left.
True, and he's a fan favorite. Anything he does is awesome. But with Conor, man, he cannot lose this next fight. I mean, I understand from a business perspective, give him the Khabib. Even if you lose, it's going to sell. I don't think it's going to surpass the first one. I mean, maybe now it's fully on the ESPN platform. It might pass the 2.4 million.
But funny.
Dude, how are they going to run that back? Conor can't be loud and boisterous on the stage.
It's funny because that's what we were talking about earlier was like the ESPN just can't wait till Conor gets and announces the fight because they really want to taste that money. They want to taste what it's like to have a Conor McGregor card under their platform. They're thinking it's going to be through the roof. And history has said it will, but we're talking about how he's lost his last few fights. You know, like we've seen him lose to Khabib, we've seen him lose to Floyd. So he's got to do something in the cage to make us get excited again. Khabib, you're right. In that matter, Khabib's not the guy. We want to see him versus Cerrone as striker.
Find a guy that you already beat already. Poirier, Holloway, Diaz.
Yeah, but Holloway's different these days, dude.
Of course, that's the selling
You
point. That's why we got to see what's going to happen. I agree with the selling point, but I want to see it, man. I don't want to see Conor try to wrestle, get back to his feet, learn some jiu-jitsu. I'm not ready for that movie. Let's have some fun. Let's have a Conor McGregor fight where he's standing up.
The Diaz is the money fight.
It is. July. Make it.
That's the money fight, but you're not going to get that.
And then that's the number one contender fight. Am I right?
Yeah.
Dude, if Conor beats Nate, they're going to give it to Max.
At 185? You're not doing
55. 55.
But the Conor-Nate trilogy.
You might do it at, you know what? The UFC might push for a 170 trilogy just to keep it away from 155.
Of course. Again, and that's the trilogy. That's the fight. That's the boxer fight. That's the fight that all the boxing fans want.
I want it now. I don't want it in Bellator, man.
I agree with you on that, but it's Brendan Schaub was in here saying the same thing too. He's like that's just going to be around forever, dude. No one's going to touch that. That can happen in 10, 15 years from now, and that sucks. It sucks.
I think Conor's I mean,
but okay. So
unless he's staying on his whiskey tour and he's just fully going to roll into a Khabib rematch,
money fight is Conor versus Nate.
Of course. The most money.
Khabib, Conor rematch will do well, but a lot of people are going to not buy into that because we don't believe in Conor anymore. Khabib. A Cowboy, a Holloway. I think Cowboy is almost even above a Holloway-Conor rematch because Holloway is so good. You want to see two strikers go at it. You want to see Cerrone, Conor. I'd almost buy in Conor versus Gaethje. Like, I'd buy into that. I would actually buy into that. That would be fun to me. I don't know. That's bonkers. That ain't happening, but that's bonkers to me. You a couple brawlers, just go at it.
Conor against your left armpit hair, man. I'm tuning in for that.
That's
Conor
fine.
against anybody.
He needs to sell a lot of people, though. He needs to go. Listen, he's selling people on the proper whiskey, which, by the way, is not that bad.
You tried it?
I've actually tried it. I have tried it. Me and my wife, we cracked it open. It's actually pretty good. I'm pleasantly surprised. But the way he's selling his whiskey, he needs to sell his fights again. He's a salesman. He is a salesman.
That's why, dude, all this shit of him jumping at Joe Rogan, he's doing this while he's on top of a bar.
Yeah,
it's sad.
I know.
You're a salesman. You're not a fighter.
He's disputing that loss.
I want to see him wrestling now. If he's like, I'm coming. Dude, if he start putting wrestling stuff out, we could start to edge towards the rematch. He's doing nothing to convince that.